Okay.
We just need one more.
Council members, we need to wait a minute because
Sure.
we're trying to help somebody take care of something for the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I see Councilmember Palmer logged on.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Until you hear. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, no worries.
Good morning.
I apologize, council members. Are we ready for the reading of the agenda?
Yeah, I thought I needed to wait for the clerk to do something, and she wanted me to wait. Can you check?
She was helping me out, ma'am.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, let me
We
just
needed to get a
explain.
number for something, but we're all good now. Okay.
Okay, good. Real quick, Teresa, let me just explain why you're reading the agenda, because I hadn't done
Yes,
that
ma'am.
yet, just for some members of the public who may be logging on for the first time. So once again, as you're seeing, we are meeting virtually. And when we meet virtually, like we have been doing because of COVID, what happens is that we read the entire agenda for today's meeting so that you know what will happen today. And then we allow for the public to submit public comment online on our website, which is council.nola.gov. So you've been able to provide public comment up until now, and once we read the agenda for 30 minutes after that, and then the public comment period will close. So with that, Teresa, if you want to read the agenda, please go ahead.
Thank you, Councilmember. The regular meeting of the City Council for Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. Page 2, consent agenda. 1, communication from Teresa R. Beecher, Council Research Officer, New Orleans City Council, submitting the recommended agenda items for deferral for the April 22nd, 2021 council meeting due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On page 3, item 2, communication from Aaron Spears, Chief of Staff and Council Utility Regulatory Office, submitting the transmittal document for communications related to electric and gas utility matters to be received by the Council of the City of New Orleans at its meeting on April 22nd, 2021. Report on the forensic investigation into Entergy New Orleans LLC load shedding protocols and all events and decisions related to the February 2021 Winter Storm Uri event, submitted by the Council Utility Advisors pursuant to R2187, and 2020 New Orleans Franchise Annual Report submitted by Cox Communications. Number 3, communication from W. Peter Connick, Jr., Butler Snow LLP, on behalf of the previous owners and the current owner, requesting to appeal the City Planning Commission's decision of denial of the result of 1, the CPC's untimely denial of the deemed, approved, and recorded subdivision pursuant to applicable provisions of the CPC subdivision regulations, specifically sections 3.14, 3.15, and 8.1, as well as 2, the CPC's improper denial of the subdivision based on criteria outside the scope for which the CPC may review administrative subdivisions pursuant to CPC subdivision regulations for the properties located at 613 Elysian Fields Avenue, 617 Elysian Fields Avenue, 621 Elysian Fields Avenue, 2210 Royal Street, and 2221 Charter Street, subdivision docket number 11720, suggested hearing date set for 5/6/21. On page 4, number 4, communication from Cynthia Davis, Department of Safety and Permits, City of New Orleans, transmitting the application documents for demolition permit requiring City Council review and approval for the following property: 1704 through 1706 Desire Street, permit number 248813 demo, Council District D. Suggested hearing date is set for 5/6/21. Number 5, communication from Christopher G. Young, ATG Licensing Consultants, LLC, requesting a conditional use extension to ordinance number 28054 MCS, providing for the establishment of a conditional use to permit the expansion of an existing standard restaurant and to permit the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-premises consumption at a restaurant for the property located at 515 Harrison Avenue, zoning docket 2219. Suggested hearing date set for 5/20/21, as this item must be advertised pursuant to section 3.3A of the CZO. On page 5, number 6, communication from Alex D. Onsnott, member Cialino and Onscott LLC, requesting on behalf of Dr. and Miss John and Melanie Kwan to appeal the Vieux-Carré Commission's decision to revoke the building permit for a wall after it was built for the property located at 928 St. Anne Street. Suggested hearing date is set for 5/6/21. 7, report of the Executive Director of the City Planning Commission, transmitting subdivision docket 11720 for District C, requesting to appeal the City Planning Commission's denial of the subdivision request for Richard Sacker and William Daly to re-subdivide property relative to municipal addresses 613 through 617 Elysian Fields Avenue, 2221 Charter Street, and 2210 Royal Street. Suggested hearing date set for 5/6/21. Number 8, calendar number 33,271 by Councilmember Banks. An ordinance to establish a conditional use to permit a primary education facility in an HU RD2 historic urban 2-family residential district on Square 204, lots 22, 23, 24, and 25 in the 6th Municipal District, bounded by Constant Street, Milan Street, General Pershing Street, and Magazine Street. Municipal address 4219 Constant Street, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Zoning docket number 721. On page 6, number 9, calendar number 33,273 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of revenues for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate federal grant funds from intergovernmental transfers to the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice Coordination for the fiscal year 2020 Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Fund and the fiscal year 2020 Justice Assistance Grant programs, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. Number 10, calendar number 33,274 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,551 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of expenditures for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate federal grant funds from intergovernmental transfers to the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice Coordination for the fiscal year 2020 Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Fund and the fiscal year 2020 Justice Assistance Grant programs, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 7, number 11, calendar number 33,275 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of revenues for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate federal and state grant funds to the Office of Homeland Security to assist public safety personnel with exercise and training to enhance preparedness for responses to emergencies and disasters, along with administrative equipment and supply costs, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. Number 12, calendar number 33,276 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,551 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of expenditures for the city of New Orleans for the years 2021 to appropriate federal and state grant funds to the Office of Homeland Security to assist public and safety personnel with exercises and training to enhance preparedness for the responses to emergencies and disasters, along with administrative equipment and supply costs, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 8, item 13, calendar number 33,277 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of revenues for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate state grant funds to the Office of Homeland Security from the FY fiscal year 2020 State Homeland Security Program for training and equipment for public safety personnel in relation to disasters and emergencies, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. Item 14, calendar number 33,278 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,551 MCS is amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of expenditures for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate state grant funds to the Office of Homeland Security from the fiscal year 2020 State Homeland Security Program for Training and Equipment for Public Safety Personnel in relation to disasters and emergencies and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 9, number 15, calendar number 33,279 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of revenues for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate private grant funds from the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation from intergovernmental transfers to the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice Coordination for the Safety and Justice Challenge Grant Program and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. Number 16, calendar number 33,280 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,551 MCS is amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of expenditures for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate private grant funds from the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation from intergovernmental transfers to the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice Coordination for the Safety and Justice Challenge Grant Program and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 10, number 17, calendar number 33,281 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of revenues for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate special revenues and trust funds from intergovernmental transfers to the Coroner's Office, Department of Public Works, Department of Police, New Orleans Recreation Development Commission, Department of Property Management, and the Vieux Carre Commission to provide funding for non-personal related expenditures such as supplies, equipment, and other related items, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. Number 18, calendar number 33,282 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,551 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of expenditures for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate special revenue and trust funds from intergovernmental transfers to the Coroner's Office, Department of Public Works, Department of Police, New Orleans Recreational Development Commission, Department of Property Management, and the Vieux Carre Commission to provide funding for non-personnel related expenditures such as supplies, equipment, and other related items, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 11, number 19, calendar number 33,286 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of revenues for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate federal grant funds awarded by the Flood Mitigation Assistance Program to the Office of Homeland Security to assist with the elevation of historic properties in the city of New Orleans and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. Number 20, calendar number 33,287 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of expenditures for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate federal grant funds awarded by the Flood Mitigation Assistance Program to the Office of Homeland Security to assist with the elevation of historic properties in the city of New Orleans and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 12, number 21, calendar number 33,289 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of revenues for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate funds from the Louisiana Department of Treasury to the Office of Homeland Security to be used by the Real-Time Crime Center towards the repair and acquisition of security equipment and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. Number 22, calendar number 33,290 by Councilmember Brossette by request. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 28,550 MCS as amended, entitled an ordinance providing an operating budget of expenditures for the city of New Orleans for the year 2021 to appropriate funds from the Louisiana Department of Treasury to the Office of Homeland Security to be used by the Real-Time Crime Center towards the repair and acquisition of security equipment and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 13, number 23, resolution number R21130 by Councilmember Brossette by request. A resolution providing for the issuance and sale of not exceeding $130 million of limited tax refunding bonds of the City of New Orleans, Louisiana, authorizing the application to the State Bond Commission for approval of said bonds and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Budget Committee recommended approval. Number 24, motion number M21-133 by Councilmembers Brossett, Moreno, Giarrusso, Nguyen, and Gisselson Palmer, approving an amendment to the classified pay plan, health, new classification, Health Project and Planning Senior Administrator, exempt, in accordance with Article 10, Section 10 of the Constitution of Louisiana, as adopted by the Civil Service Commission at its meeting of March 22nd, 2021. Budget Committee recommended approval. On page 14, executive session. Pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 4216 and 4217A2, the Council of the City of New Orleans may convene an executive session for the purpose of discussing the following litigation. In re the Edward Wisner donation, case number 2012-11-469 and 2013-00107, Civil District Court for the Parish of Orleans. Executive session will be considered at 11 a.m. On page 15, we begin the regular agenda. 1. Legislative grouping. 1A, demolition request of Roy Ferris Jr., requesting a demolition permit for the following properties: 2129 and 2123 4th Street. This matter is on deadline. 1B, motion number M21-140 by Councilmember Banks, approving the demolition request for the property located at 2129 through 2131 4th Street. On page 16, number 1C, motion number M21-141 by Councilmember Banks, a motion denying the demolition request for the property located at 2129 through 2131 4th Street. Number 2, legislative grouping. 2A, demolition request of Sean Killian on behalf of the owner, Joseph Aloise, requesting a demolition permit for the following property: 2117 South Durbany Street. This matter is on deadline. 2B, motion number M21-142 by Councilmember Banks, approving the demolition request for the property located at 5217 South Durbany Street. And 2C, motion number M21-143 by Councilmember Banks, denying the demolition request for the property located at 2117 South Durbany Street. On page 17, number 3, demolition request of Jackson Keone has been a deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/6/21. Number 4, zoning docket number 921, Trinity Church. A deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/6/21. On page 18, number 5, legislative grouping. 5A, zoning docket number 1121, Nicole Weber, requesting a text amendment to Article 20 of the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance relative to the virtual sales of vehicles and other articles as deemed necessary by the staff of the City Planning Commission. First, to amend use standards, section 20.3.mm.5, subpart 5, motor vehicle service and repair, minor and major, as follows. Number 5, the handling of virtual sales of used automobiles may be permitted with the following conditions. A, the storage of used vehicles for sale on premise is prohibited. And B, vehicles shall be located off premise at the vehicle owner's property or at a property zoned. And C, the business shall hold a valid license with the Louisiana Used Motor Vehicle Commission. Second, the City Planning Commission staff shall have the authority to amend the above and make recommendations for additional amendments citywide. The recommendation of the City Planning Commission being for approval, this item affects all districts citywide. 5B, motion number M21-144 by Councilmember Banks. Motion approving the favorable recommendation of the City Planning Commission on zoning docket number 1121 as modified, granting the request as provided in the City Planning Report. On page 19, number 6, zoning docket number 1421, Poydras Properties 2, LLC. A deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/6/21. On page 20, item 7, legislative grouping. 7A, zoning docket number 1621, City Council motion M2450, requesting a text amendment to the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance to consider amendments to the definition of winery and to consider the addition of such to use tables in appropriate districts. In the course of review, City Planning Commission staff should consider this use in the context of similar uses such as breweries and distilleries. Staff should also review use tables and provide recommendations to establish consistency among breweries and distilleries in appropriate zoning districts. Planning staff should review applicable state regulations to guide potential amendments. This text amendment will impact all zoning districts that permit microbreweries, microdistilleries, breweries, and distilleries, either by right or through a conditional use. The recommendation of the City Planning Commission being for approval. This change will impact all districts citywide. 7B, motion number M21-145 by Councilmember Banks. A motion approving the favorable recommendation of the City Planning Commission on zoning docket number 1621 as modified, granting the request as provided in the City Planning Report. On page 21, number 8, zoning docket number 1721, City Council motion M2416. A deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/16/21. On page 22, number 9, legislative grouping 9A, zoning docket number 2221 and motion number M21-136. A deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/6/21. On page 23, number 10, zoning docket number 2321, City Council motion M2119. A deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/16/21. Number 11, zoning docket number 2421 by Imad Hamdan. Deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/6/21. Now on page 24. Number 12, zoning docket number 2521, Couples Creating Opportunities, LLC. A request to defer this item to the meeting of 5/6/21 has been received. Number 13, calendar number 33,147 by Councilmember Williams and Gissison Palmer. A deferral has been requested to the meeting of 5/6/21. Page 25, number 14, calendar number 33,232 by Councilmember Brossett by request. An ordinance to amend and reordain Articles 1, 2, and 3 of Chapter 86 of the Code of the City of New Orleans relative to establishing the Human Rights Commission, its membership, powers, jurisdiction, and hearing and investigative procedures, and to provide otherwise with respect thereto. We received a request to defer this item to the meeting of 5/6/21. Number 15, calendar number 33,267 by Councilmember Banks by request. An ordinance revoking the street dedication and authorizing the sale at public auction for a minimum price to be set by appraisals of a certain portion of ground, together with all rights, ways, privileges, servitudes, and appurtenances thereunto, belonging or in any way appertaining, situated in the 6th municipal district of the City of New Orleans, in Square 89, bounded by South Front Street or Leek Avenue, Marengo Street, Chapatoulas Street, and Constantinople Street, designated as a portion of South Front Street or Leek Avenue, as shown on a plan of survey and re-subdivision by the Office of Gandolfo Kuhn, LLC, dated April 10th, 2020, last revised June 3rd, 2020, the portion of South Front Street, which is no longer needed for public purposes and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. On page 26, number 16, calendar number 33,284 by Councilmember Gissison Palmer by request. An ordinance to authorize the mayor of the City of New Orleans to enter into an agreement to grant a servitude to an adjacent property owner for encroachments on/over portions of the public right-of-way located at the municipal address 600 Maison Street, to fix the minimum price and terms of said servitude agreement, to declare that such use as granted in the servitude agreement will incorporate space that is neither needed for public purposes, nor shall such use interfere with the use of the public right-of-way, to set forth the reasons for said servitude agreement, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Number 17, calendar number 33,285 by Councilmember Banks by request. An ordinance to authorize the mayor of the City of New Orleans to enter into the First Amendment to a lease of land by the City of New Orleans to Ike and Tina, LLC, DBA Zoe Mash Beer Project, Zoe Mash, for the following described property belonging to the city. A portion of ground located in the 1st Municipal District, Square 482A, which bears the municipal address of 1400 South Broad Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, as more fully described in detail herein, to fix the terms for said lease to be used to operate the business of Zoe Mash, to reaffirm that such property to be leased is not needed for public purposes during the lease term, and to set forth the reasons for the First Amendment of the lease of land, which is attached and shall be a part of this ordinance, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. On page 27, number 18, calendar number 33,288 by Councilmember Nguyen by request. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the City of New Orleans to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement among the City of New Orleans, the city, and the New Orleans Recreational Development Commission, the commission, and the New Orleans Recreational Development Foundation, the foundation, for a term greater than 1 year for the public purpose of supporting, promoting, stimulating public interest in, and raising and distributing funds to benefit the construction, creation, preservation, and maintenance of public parks and playgrounds, recreational facilities, and recreational and other leisure programs and activities in the city of New Orleans, as more fully detailed in the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Number 19, motion lying over, number M21-121 by Councilmember Moreno, amending City Council Rule 10, Note B, in its entirety regarding the City Council's consent agenda and procedures relative thereto, and replacing it as provided in Exhibit A. We received a request to defer this item to 5-6 and refer it to the Governmental Affairs Committee. Page 28, number 20, motion number M21-131 by Councilmember Banks, approving the following disbursement subject to the availability of funds pursuant to the lease agreement between the City of New Orleans, hereafter the city, and the Jazz Casino Company, LLC, whereby the Jazz Casino Company shall make $2 million in annual payments to the city to assist in funding education-related initiatives within Orleans Parish, subject to disbursement by the City Council as follows. OPSB, Center for Resilience, $500,000. Travis Hills School, $500,000. Office of Student Support, Mahalia Site, $500,000. Total allocation, $1.5 million. The Community Development Committee heard this item and moved the matter to the full council without a recommendation. This item will be considered at 12:30 p.m. Item 21, resolution number R21-134 by Councilmember Moreno, a resolution in support of S. Bill 173 relative to the administration of the motion picture production tax credit. On page 29, number 22, resolution number R21-135 by Councilmember Nguyen, providing that it shall be the right of every child in New Orleans to have rest and leisure and to engage in play and recreational activities appropriate to the age of the child, with the city respecting and promoting equal opportunities for children to participate fully in cultural, artistic, recreational, and leisure activities. Item 23, resolution number R21-137 by Councilmember Brossette, expressing the council's full support for the construction of a new stadium and sports complex in the 9th Ward adjacent to George Washington Carver High School. This item will be considered at noon. Item 24, resolution number R21-138 by Councilmember Brossette, proclaiming April 2021 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month in New Orleans and urging all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating themselves to improving the quality of life for all children and families. This item will be considered directly after item 23, which is at noon. On page 30, number 25, resolution number R21-139 by Councilmembers Jeruso, Banks, Gisselson, Palmer, Brossette, and Nguyen by request, pursuant to City Code Section 233C9, confirming the following appointments for the award of scholarships to Tulane University as selected by Mayor LaToya Cantrell, finding that the individuals are well qualified and worthy of such selection under the criteria established in City Code Section 233C1. Derek Leonard, Rooted School, Council District A. Daryl Lee, Edna Carr, Council District B. Tony Tran, Ben Franklin, Council District C. Jamal Wright, Landry Walker, Council District D. And Jace North, Ben Franklin, Council District E. Number 26, motion number M21-146 by Councilmember Banks, requesting City Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing to consider a conditional use to permit an affordable housing plan development in an HURM1 historic urban multifamily residential district on Square 240, lots 16, 17, 18, and 19 in the 4th Municipal District, bounded by St. Andrew Street, Carondelet Street, Felicity Street, and Broome Street. Municipal addresses 1721, 29, and 35 St. Andrew Street. On page 31, number 27, resolution number R21-147 by Councilmember Banks, recognizing the Department of Property Management and Division of Cemeteries for assuring safe access to city-owned cemeteries throughout the pandemic, and to specifically commend the opening of cemeteries from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 5th, 2021, so that New Orleanians can honor, mourn, and remember loved ones on that special day. And council members, we received one resolution for consideration under suspension to be received. It is resolution number R21-148 by council members Gissel, Palmer, Banks, Moreno, Wynn, Brossett, and Glapion. Whereas the current Louisiana Constitution requires, thank you, all properties subject to ad valorem taxation be listed on assessment rolls, and each property must be reappraised every 4 years. And whereas the current Louisiana Constitution allows a 4-year phase-in for increasing the value of a homestead-exempt residential properties if the assessed value of the immovable property increases more than 50% of the property's value over the previous year. And whereas during the citywide reassessment of 2019 and 2020, 1 in 5 homeowners saw an increase of 50% or more in the appraised value of their home. And whereas increased housing costs, like property taxes, can lead to displacement, especially among low-income and senior homeowners on fixed incomes. And whereas rapidly increasing property values also limit the available supply of affordable housing for prospective low to moderate income buyers, especially in, quote, high opportunity neighborhoods. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the New Orleans City Council supports the passage of proposed House Bill 143, filed by Louisiana State Representative Matthew Willard, which calls for placing a constitutional amendment on a statewide ballot to limit the increase in the assessed value of homestead properties in Orleans Parish to no more than 10% of the previous assessed value. And be it further resolved that the clerk of council, transmit certified copies of this resolution to all members of the New Orleans delegation. Senator Karen Carter Peterson, Senator Troy Carter, Senator Sharon Hewitt, Senator Jimmy Harris, Senator Joseph Bowie, Representative Royce DePlessis, Representative Raymond E. Garofalo, Representative Gary M. Carter, Representative Stephanie Hilferty, Representative Maddie Landry, Representative Amy Adado Freeman, Representative Matthew Willard, Representative Candace Newell, Representative Jason Hughes, and Representative Mac Comier. Council members, we will need a motion to receive this resolution onto the agenda.
I'll make a motion to receive. I'll make that motion. Seconded by Councilmember Wynn.
Councilmember Wynn,
Yay.
Councilmember Brossett,
Yay.
Councilmember Glapion, Councilmember Moreno,
Yay.
Councilmember Gissel Palmer,
Yay.
Councilmember Banks,
Yay.
Councilmember Jeruso.
Yay.
We have 6 yeas, no nays, and the resolution has been received.
Council
Jay's
members,
mic is working.
and item 28 is ordinances on first reading, and that is the entire agenda for today's meeting.
Okay, thank you so much, Teresa. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and start the clock for public comment right now. It is 10:33. Once again, if you would like to submit public comment for any of the items on the agenda, go to council.nola.gov. Before we go to recess, I do want to turn it over to Councilmember Wynn. She's got a couple points of personal privilege. Councilmember?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning to all. I'm really honored today to share with you one of our community foundation in District E. It's called the Garfino Community Foundation Incorporated. They are celebrating their 224th anniversary of the Garfino settlement and proclaiming March the 1st to April the 12th, 2021 as the Garfino American Heritage Month. The Garfino community has origins in the west coast of Africa and the Caribbean island. It is an honor to present this proclamation to a community that resides in New Orleans East, Central City, and Uptown. I'd like to recognize two members of the Garfino heritage. Mr. Arlene Martinez Riaz, leader and president who founded the Garfino Community Foundation Incorporated. I also want to congratulate him for his hard work and dedication throughout this past year working with organizations in the community during the COVID-19 pandemic. I also like to recognize and congratulate Ms. Claudia Valentine for her community businesswoman leadership in New Orleans by helping people in its culture and diverse city. I want to check if the representative, if Arlene and Ms. Claudia is on, and if they would like to share a few words before I present the proclamation. Okay, so what I'll do is I like to read the proclamation and we'll present them or we'll deliver it to them at a later time. So the Council of the City of New Orleans, whereas the Garifino Community Foundation Incorporated, a nonpartisan nonprofit organization, is proclaiming March the 11th till April the 12th, 2021 as Garifuna American Heritage Month in New Orleans in observance of their 224th anniversary of the Garifuna settlement in Central America. And whereas the Garifuna Community Foundation, which is a proud and lively Garifuna population that presently lives in New Orleans, traces its dual origins to the west coast of Africa, as well as the Arawak and Carib Indians that inhabit the Caribbean island of St. Vincent during the times of colonialism. And whereas the Garifuna Community Foundation of New Orleans is presently made up of mixed population of multiple generations. They have formed enclaves in the New Orleans East, Central City, and Uptown. And whereas the Garifuna Community Foundation recognizes the Garifuna American Heritage Month, which provides an opportunity to honor the significance of the Garifuna's contributions to the quality and character of life, and through many events and activities throughout the month, for all people to gain a greater appreciation of the Garifuna history and traditions and the role of Garifuna Americans have played and will continue to play in our society. And be it proclaimed by the Council of the City of New Orleans that this council recognized on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Garifuna Community Foundation Incorporated as the month of March 11th to April the 12th, 2021 as Garifuna American Heritage Month in the City of New Orleans at the request of myself in the name of and by the authority vested in the Council of the City of New Orleans, signed by all 7 council members. Thank you, colleagues, for supporting the proclamation and recognizing the Garifuna Community Foundation and their work in our city. So with that, thank you so much, Madam Chair, for this point of privilege. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thanks, Councilmember Nguyen. If there are no other points of personal privilege, then we will take a recess until we come back, which that will be at 11:03. And when we come back, then we'll have to make a motion to take us into executive session. So we will see you back in just a bit. All right, everyone. It is 11:03. Back on. It's 11:03, and let me go back to Councilmember Nguyen now that we are coming out of recess, real quick, because she has another quick point of personal privilege. Councilmember Nguyen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I guess, waking up today was such a beautiful day, and I kind of got sidetracked and really getting excited about the beautiful weather we've been experiencing, and then overlooked a very important group that has been working very closely in District E. So you guys, it is Earth Day. So our meeting today coincides with Earth Day. And what a better time to discuss the amazing work being done in our city to protect our residents and our planet. We have seen growth in renewable energy through many of our city's partners, including Posigen and Entergy. Innovation in glass recycling locally through the work of Glass Half Full, and preservation and restoration of our natural habitat by work of organizations like NOLA Tree Project, SOUL, and Sankofa. We must all do our part to restore our green space, mitigate climate change, protect our drinking water, and manage our stormwater. I would like to invite Sankofa Community Development Corporation to provide a quick overview of the work they are doing this Earth Day and beyond to better our city and bring benefits to our residents. So I see Ms. Rashida Ferdinand. Rashida, I'm gonna turn the floor over to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Councilmember Nguyen, and happy Earth Day to, I want to really thank the City Council as well for your support in bringing this Children's Bill of Rights to the citizens of New Orleans. Our mission at Sankofa is to build healthier communities for generations to come. As a 501c3 nonprofit community development corporation, we leverage partnerships to collaboratively work towards the development of infrastructure projects in the Lower Ninth Ward that catalyze economic growth in the area through the lens of health and equity. With New Orleans being designated as a leadership city within the Children in Nature Network, Sankofa is working in partnership with District E and North that ensure that there's equitable access to spaces within our natural environment for children to both study and freely explore the wonders of nature. We prepared this Children's Bill of Rights to affirm equitable opportunities for children to support health and wellness and their connectivity to nature. The National Institutes of Health states in its publication, Childhood Development and Access to Nature, a new direction for environmental inequality research, that the positive effects of nature exposure include improved cognitive functioning, including increased concentration, greater attention capacities, and higher academic performance with better motor coordination. It increases social interaction with adults and other children and improves social skills. So our intention with the Children's Bill of Rights is especially critical during this time of climate change, when awareness of the importance of our natural environment is especially needed. As children are future scientists, educators, engineers, policymakers, builders, architects, and artists who will be stewards and protectors of the land, the water, and the air. Presently, in the Lower Ninth Ward, we're working to restore a wetland park as in partnership with the City of New Orleans and Lower Ninth residents to provide opportunities for exposure to a healthy, natural environment in their own backyard, their home neighborhood. We look forward to seeing more of these spaces continue to develop in neighborhoods throughout our city that have the most needs and limited resources to ensure that all children have the same type of access ongoing. And I thank you again to City Council, especially Councilmember Cindy Nguyen, for bringing us forth to our City of New Orleans, and look forward to continuing this journey with you all, and thank you again.
Thank you, Rashida. I don't know if you guys, I think you guys missed it. On Tuesday, they did bat monitoring at the Sankofa, and I was out there. And let me tell you, it was amazing. The kids had so much fun. I was kind of ducking just to make sure that the bat doesn't get me, but they were like up in the sky. But it was just really amazing just to learn about it. And you guys know I'm a city girl. I'm really trying to get close to nature. And so thank you, Rashida, for having that. And by the way, you guys, tonight, Sankofa, as part of Earth Day, You guys still doing the sunset stroll tonight, Rashida?
It's tonight at 7 o'clock. Everyone's invited to attend. It's 7 o'clock to 9 at 6401 Florida Avenue.
Yep, and so I plan to be there. I'm planning to do my Facebook Live out there, live in the low 9, and just to bring people out there. So thank you very much, Rashida. So as Rashida stated, item number 22 on our agenda today is the result of a collaboration between Sankofa Community Development Corporation, the New Orleans Recreational Development Commission, the Mayor's Office of Youth and Families, and my office in partnership with Audubon Nature Institute, and provides that it shall be the right of every child in our city to enjoy the cultural, artistic, recreational, and leisure activities that a healthy, natural environment provides. Thank you, Rashida and Tricia, for the information, the incredible work that you guys are doing in our city. Council member and community, I would like to formally invite you to join me at the Sankofa Nature Fest on Saturday, April the 24th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys, we're going to have snowball. And what amazing time to have a snowball, right? So you guys come on out to the L9 along Florida Avenue, and I'm sure that you guys will have a great time. If a city girl has an awesome time on the woods and with trail, I guarantee you guys will also have an amazing time with what they have out there. So thank you so much, Madam Chair, for giving us this point of privilege.
Thank you, Councilmember Nguyen, and Rashida, thank you for all the tremendous work that you do at Sankofa. You've grown so much since like the very first time that you invited me out there, and I'm so proud of all the work that you're doing. We're going to try to make it out to the stroll tonight and go see Councilmember Nguyen on Saturday as well, over for the big Earth Day celebration. I will say this, Councilmember Nguyen told me earlier, this was last council meeting when we did the resolution in support of Sankofa's improvements and also additional mitigation measures when it comes to preventing flooding and things like that. But she had told me that for some of these Earth Day celebrations, I could bring my little French bulldog Nacho. And so I want to check with you if that's okay to bring him, or do I need to leave him at home? Just trying to prepare.
All of our furry friends are fully welcome. There's some that already live in the park, so absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, perfect. Well, then he will be in attendance, and he'll be coming out to see you as well. So thanks, Rashida, for all you do. Thanks, Councilmember Nguyen. And
Nacho may find a friend out there now, Helena.
What'd you say?
He said you may find a friend out there. You may have to bring home another.
You know how much I love animals.
I know. So be prepared.
Okay, sounds good.
Right.
Anyone else want to make any comments? Okay, seeing none. All right, thank you so much, Rashida. Appreciate you so much. Madam Clerk, can you call roll again, just so we establish our quorum once again, and then after that, I'll take us into executive session.
Councilmember Nguyen,
Yay.
Councilmember Brissette,
He's behind me. Can you yell present? He just yelled present.
okay, Councilmember Moreno,
Present.
Councilmember Glapion,
Yay.
Councilmember Gissison Palmer,
Yay.
Councilmember Banks,
Yay. Hey.
Councilmember Jeruso.
Yay.
Yes. Okay, council members, we need to go to page 14 for the executive session. Pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 4216 and 4217(a)(2, the Council of the City of New Orleans may convene an executive session for the purpose of discussing the following litigation and read the Edward Wisner donation case numbers 2012 through 11469 and 2013 00107, Civil District Court for the Parish of Orleans. So we need to, I need a move in a second so that y'all can go into executive session.
I'll make the motion, Madam Clerk. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Jeruso. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Nguyen,
Yay.
Councilmember Brissette,
He yelled yes.
Councilmember Glapion.
Wait, what are we doing?
We're going
Yay.
into executive session, Councilmember Banks. Councilmember
Yay.
Moreno. Councilmember, okay. Councilmember Moreno
Yay.
and Councilmember Jeruso.
Yay.
We have 7 yeas, no nays. We're now in executive session.
All right, council members and Madam City Attorney, I'll confirm when we're ready.
Thank you.